Hi, I'm Mike Cerrone with Mastermind Agent, and welcome to the Referral Mastermind Call. This is where we come together and we strategize, we brainstorm, we think about ways to get more repeat and referrals from our past clients and sphere of influence, our friends and family and acquaintances. If that's what you're here for, you're in the right place, and excited to get started here and get rolling. We're still bringing people in. But again, thank you for being here. Let's do this. Let's open up. We got a few minutes left. Does anyone else have anything else they would like to chat about when it comes to repeating referrals? First of all, let's start with that. When it comes to repeating referrals, your repeating referral business. If you do, go ahead and unmute yourself and let us know what you'd like to chat about. Julian, do you have something?
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what do you recommend for referrals on what I know I used to in the past mail out? I had like a newsletter, monthly newsletter that I mailed out to my SOI, past clients, that kind of stuff. Do you recommend once a month still? I mean, have things changed now with the computer? I mean, emails really don't work anymore. People, they disappear. What's the best thing to use? Up there to do now?
That's a great question. So your question is, hey, I got this group, this PCSOI, I call it PCSOI, past clients and sphere of influence. I got this list, and I want to reach out to them and generate repeating referrals. And basically what that means, by the way, is I just want to stay in front of them. I just want to stay in front of them so they don't forget me because I don't know what day they're going to wake up and say, oh, it's time to move. You know, if you knew that, you would just show up the day before, but we don't know that. So you got to just kind of stay in front of them a lot. And so you got two questions there. What's the frequency? And then what do you actually do? Let's do this. I have my answer, but I'd like to open it up to these smart people we have in the mastermind. Anybody have any advice for Julian on how often, what the frequency is that you should be reaching out and what you should be sending or what you do send? Go ahead and unmute yourself. Let us know.
I'm doing a monthly newsletter and a quarterly updates on the area. I try to send them some marketing reports, you know, some CMAs on their properties, like at least once or twice a year. But to be honest, I've not had many referrals, so I don't know what to say.
You're doing a good job of reaching out. That's fantastic. So I heard a weekly, did you say weekly newsletter?
A monthly newsletter.
I'm sorry, a monthly newsletter.
That's fine.
And is it digital or is it?
I mail it. I'm actually mailing those.
I like that. Yeah.
Because you know what? I feel like no one really gets as much mail, you know, snail mail as they used to. So now it's standing out, where for a bit you just got lost. That's
so true. And there's less competition in the mailbox than there used to be 20 years ago. You know, before the internet, that was the only way to get to them.
Yeah,
so they'd have stacks and stacks, and now they still get mail, but nothing like they used to. Just like you probably don't get as much as you used to, so you'll stand out. Then the question is the quality of the piece, what you're offering, and are you making an offer at all? You know, a lot of these marketing pieces aren't making an offer. First of all, if you're doing something, it's better than nothing. Okay, especially if you have your face. Your face has to be prominent on that piece. Do not be a wallflower. You know, you got to show your big face as much as you can. I say your big face, a big picture of your face as much as you possibly can with your name, because if they are doing the fast flip over, at least they saw your face and they'll remember, right? Because 80% of the population is visual, like myself. I like to see faces. And so that's one thing. And then get into what is in the actual piece and call to offers and call to actions. That would be the next step. The other thing you said that I liked was you said you're doing informational reach outs like a CMA, market analysis twice a year, I think you said.
I do like twice a year. Well, I would normally do it once a year, but the market's been changing so much, I did do it twice.
Why not? Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a great idea. The thing I like about those is you're giving specific information about their property. How long have you been doing this?
Okay, so now I've only been doing this for about a year
Okay.
on this. Okay. And I will say I'm really bad. I've been doing this a long time, and no, I did not follow up with past clients before. I did not. So
You know what you need to mix in there? You need to mix in a phone call.
I do. Okay.
Yeah,
I do
and the
do that.
phone call, have you been making the phone calls? Did you say?
Yeah, a couple of times a year, I make sure I reach out and give them an actual call.
Perfect. Yeah. How big is the database?
Okay, on that, I'm going to say about 120, 130.
That's not bad.
I have a lot more in my data, but those are the ones that I consider my past clients and, you know.
Cool.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's great. I like it. So you got a list of 120. You've kind of narrowed it down. These are people you have a connection with.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You would recognize each other in the grocery store and strike up a conversation, right?
Correct.
You know,
Correct.
you actually know each other. I'm glad that you have the separate grouping for this than for other business that you do. That's very important because this is a tighter group. Have you considered doing any events?
No, I've never done that. And to be honest, I don't know if I have the funds to do that. So I was trying to think of something that I could do that would not be so cost prohibitive. Yeah.
Contests and giveaways are really good because they're low cost and they're an easy reach out.
I might have a suggestion for that. If you work with a lender, kind of specifically, they might sponsor those events for you.
Yeah, you could do some co-marketing.
Yeah. I have a couple that I send business to regularly, but to be honest, I work with a lot of buyers and they usually have their own lenders too. So I don't really have any one or two I send enough to that I feel like I should beg for money.
Got it. Austin does bring up a good point, though. You could absolutely ask one of them to participate because they get the opportunity to get in front of your people. Remember, it's co-marketing. So the lender may like that, especially if you're doing a larger event. I'm going to recommend some smaller ones, and I'll come back to that, some very inexpensive ones. Let's see, I'm trying to remember if you had anything else. I first just want to get the idea of what you were doing. What did we miss? We had the newsletter, we had the CMAs, call. How often do you do a call?
Yeah, I do a quarterly. All right, so I call them a few times through the year. I do like a quarterly market update. But I'll tell you, my newsletter is more information. I do have a few call to actions in there, don't get me wrong, but most of it's like local things going on and information, not just like begging for business because I hate tacky salesy stuff.
Sure. Remember that offering a call to action can be a small part of it. It's what it needs to be, though, is there has to be a mechanism for someone who's interested to raise their hand and let you know they're interested. Because otherwise they just think, well, Laura's a great gal.
Yeah.
There's got to be that extra step of, hey, Laura's real estate and I need real estate, right? Here's another thing that you might try. We don't have a lot of time to get into all the particulars, but you might set up a call with me, by the way, a one-on-one call, and we can go in a little deeper if you have any interest. And they're free. I'm doing them this week and next. Let me just go into a couple, because this is fun. Thank you for bringing this up. I think Julian did, and you jumped in. This idea that the number one thing you want to get in front of these people, let me go back to that. You want to connect in their mind and remind them. Okay, if they're past clients, they already have the connection, but their sphere of influence, they may not have the connection, and that is real estate Laura. Right? Or real estate Julian. You want to have that connection with your name in their mind. And the number one best way to do that always for our business and any other is testimonials. So if you can get testimonials from your past clients, go back and ask some past clients to do some, especially ones you're still close to. And moving forward, make sure that you told us you had a couple transactions coming up. Make sure during this transaction you ask for referrals. a testimonial from these people. The number one best way to do it is video, if at all possible. So if you're with them personally, you whip out your phone and you can do that, right? And that's so quick and easy. And by the way, the rawer, the better, because it's real. If it's real, people believe it. If it's too slick, they don't. So it's actually good to be doing it on the phone or whatever. But the testimonial, and when you do that, the reason video is good is you can get into the details of what happened during their transaction. Okay, I had this problem, these things popped up, and Laura helped me solve it. She helped me get to the finish line. If you can tell a story of that, help them tell the story of that. You may have to do an interview format. If they're not with you, you could do it through Zoom, where you record the Zoom and you're doing that story. That is so powerful in all marketing that I highly recommend you try to figure out how to add that in. If you're doing a mail out, for instance, in your newsletter, you could do a picture of them, just a picture of them, but even better is a picture of them with you, or a picture of them with you in front of a house, or a picture of you and them in front of the house with your sign. These are getting slightly better and better, but then you have the caption below that. You have a story. You tell the story of what happened. And everybody thinks that short text is better than long, and it's false. Long text is better than short, as long as you're not boring. Okay, but you need, if you tell a story and you're telling all the details of what happened in the story, if you have a good headline, it'll draw people in and they'll read that story. And here's what you want to get them to say: oh my gosh, that's just like me. If they can get to that point, they go, oh my gosh, that's just like me, or that's just like my mom who needs help. Or if you can get them to say that, now, boom, you are their solution. You are their answer. Like, Laura does this. She does X. She can help me. Like we just had Austin on. He needs to do some kind of testimonials as he moves forward, where people go, oh, I got this property and I want to get a higher value for it. Or I'm a contractor who wants to add these special units. And the person who can help me do that is Austin, because he told me this story of how he helped them do that, right? So you're going to do that in your PCSOI marketing. If you can tell them a story and then put that in your newsletter, put it in a postcard, call them on the phone, tell them a story, right? Don't you already do that in your sales? You know you do.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'll do a little shout out in each newsletter. You know, I've never added that. No, I haven't. Okay. So, okay.
That plays on people's heartstrings. Remember, all sales are emotional anyway. Everything is emotional. We justify with logic. All decisions are emotional. We like somebody, we hate somebody. We like them, we hate them, right? It's all there. It's inside. We call it our gut. But we've already made the decision. Then we justify, oh, I need to use Laura because she's close. I need to use Laura because she's tall or she's short. Or it doesn't, they'll make up some silly reason. The real reason is they like you. Okay.
Okay.
And they'll like you most if you can tell stories about how you help somebody do it. And the beauty of it is you tell the story A, that's this situation. You tell story B, that's this situation. At some story, they're going to go, oh, that's just like me. That's going to really amp up your referrals and your repeats. In fact, tell stories of that. Say, oh, this is the story of the month. I just, my friend Sheila referred her friend Jack, and Jack came in and we helped him buy this place. And then he referred me to his cousin, Samantha, and Samantha bought this condo. And if you could tell those stories, even better, right? Because now you're forecasting for people what you want them to do through story.
Yeah, good idea.
Does that make sense? Yeah, and then it's not salesy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and your call to action is just, by the way, it's just a small. Let's run through this super fast, not only for you, but for everybody. What you know this, you've been doing this so long. What are the two things that people want? What do buyers want? What do sellers want? What do they want?
Yeah. Well, the sellers always want to know what their house is worth.
That's right.
You know,
even with all the technology. Good.
Yep.
What do buyers want?
Buyers, of course, to get the best deal. Or best financing, or no money down, or
That's true, but secondary. What do they want to do first? They want to see property.
Yeah, that's true.
They want to list the property, right? They want to know what's out there. Right? That's where they start. And you're correct. As they move along, then they want to know about financing and other things. Maybe a first-time home buyer wants to make sure they can even buy anything.
Right.
But the way you get them is you show them a property with a payment, right? And they go, oh, I can do that. That's like my rent, right? That's how they get excited about it. They saw a property, they saw a monthly payment, and they're going, oh, I can do that. I wonder what the debt, I wonder how I get into the rest of it. Now financing comes up, but you started with the property, right? Buyers want to see property. Sellers want to know how much their home is worth. You nailed that. And so those are the offers you need to incorporate somewhere in your stuff. And it can just be a little teeny thing. For instance, with buyers, if you know your buyer pool well, you can make a very specific offer, not generic, but a specific offer would be top 5 swimming pool houses in blank city, okay? And if you want to see those, let me know. I'll give you my top 5 list. You just have a top 5 list. And that's a way for them to get back and go, hey, Laura, what's your top 5 list on super swimming pool homes? Because I've been doing that. Or view homes, or lakefront homes, or I don't know, whatever's popular in your area, or family homes, or homes with 17 bedrooms. I don't know, whatever your niche is, you try to figure it out, or something that would match most of the people in your group. And it doesn't even have to match. That first-time home buyer would love to see a list of $1 million homes, right? Or mansions.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Okay. So that's the buy side. The sell side is very simple. It's, hey, find out what the value of your home is. Now, some of the people who got really sophisticated on that is they'll throw in some doubt in that. And what I mean by it is they'll say, hey, find out what the real value of your home is. Don't accept that crazy Zillow thing. I didn't say Zestimate. I said the Zillow.
Yeah.
Because that's what they'll do first. And you say, oh, that one's nice, but not the full one. We all know that, right? It's off by a little bit. Well, you got to throw a little doubt in there, and they'll go, oh, well, maybe Laura should tell me what my home's worth.
Okay. Now, I do incorporate in my newsletter, I usually have like a little spot with like my house of the month, best deal of the month, or like, call me if you want to see this. And so I do that. And
you have to take that next step, which is the call to action.
Yeah, I have it on there. You call me.
To tell them how to get in touch with you. Do you want them to call you, email you, text you, go online and fill out a form? What steps do you want them to take next?
Okay.
And the more you do that, the more it's going to work. The only other thing I can say is make sure your face is huge on all these pieces. You are the product, right? You wouldn't see an advertisement for a Hoover vacuum cleaner that doesn't have a picture of the vacuum cleaner, right? They wouldn't be there, right? You wouldn't see a picture for a Maserati. You wouldn't see an advertisement for a Maserati without a picture of a Maserati. The product has to be there and eye-catching, right? So we got to have our face prominent as well. As far as your frequency, and that was another thing Julian asked was, how often do you need to get out in front of people? It needs to be at least once a month, okay? And as high as 3 times a month, which sounds crazy until I add the last piece. The last piece of the puzzle is multiple facets, multiple mediums. You don't go 30 times at them a year at the same way. You don't send out 30 pieces of mail. You could, but that'd be crazy. You don't send out 30 emails because that overloads them. You don't send out 30 text messages or 30 phone calls. You mix all these things together. You have a social media post. You have they're connected to you there. You have an email. You have a snail mail. You have a text. You have a phone call. You have an event. You actually can touch them so many ways where it doesn't look like you're doing the same thing over and over again. You have all these variety, but the fact is you're staying in front of them really well. And that's what the top agents do.
Okay. Well, and I will say this past year, I have been better about that. Different ways. Yes. So. And you say, and what was happening prior to this year? I wasn't really doing much of anything. I mean, I had them on drip campaigns, but that's about it. So you need to do the call, which is just, hey, how you doing? I haven't talked to you in so long. I just want to touch base with you. How's the house? Or how's the new place that you moved to? If they moved out, how are the kids? I just been wondering I was just thinking about you the other day, right?
I was just thinking about you right now. Yeah, because I saw you. So, but the fact is, you were, and you do care about them, right? Don't you have a connection with them at some level?
Yeah. And I am starting to do, I'll do like a little video text also for like a happy birthday, you know, or I jump on their Facebook and say, you know, happy birthday, you know, if I know it's a birthday anniversary or what have you. Yeah. I have been doing that.
Is the home anniversary. Are you doing that? The home anniversary when you help them buy the home?
All right. I haven't. No.
That's huge. Think about it.
Yeah.
Why is that date? Who is that date important to?
Yeah, that's true.
It's only important to you and the client. Nobody else cares about that date, but you do. They do. You do because that's when you help them conclude the transaction. They do because that's when they got the keys to the house, or that's when they got the cash from selling it. You know, that's why they feel good about it. So the home anniversary is awesome. You just call up and say, "Hey, how's it going? You know, can you believe that you and I bought a home together 8 years ago? That's just amazing. How's the home holding up?"
Yeah, I was just thinking that because I will be honest, I don't have that date. I don't think in my CRM at all. I'd have to go back and I'm going to have to. Yeah.
Go back and get the closed files and just find it. It'll take you a little bit of work.
Yeah. Okay.
You can hire an assistant to do it. You could, you know, have one of your friends or kids or, you know, nieces or nephews or uncle, whatever. Somebody can come help do that for a little short project.
Okay, quick way. I just realized I'm sure I could pull up all my sales, my closed sales on the MLS. It's going to show the date of closing.
There you go. Bingo. Nice.
2 seconds.
Great way. Yeah. In our area, it's a little harder for buys, but easy on sales. So you might have, you can see half of them easy and half are hard. The other way is you can contact your title company or your mortgage company. They're doing half those transactions. They are also, by the way, a good resource if you're looking for birthdays, right? Because they collect that data, especially the mortgage company, they have the birth date. The title company too. They have the driver's license with the birth date on it.
Okay.
Have that.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. So they're a great resource to try to rebuild or reconstitute these databases.
Okay, I'll do it.
That information?
Go ahead.
Are they allowed to share that information?
You can ask them if you have a long-term relationship. Remember, we're talking about a past client. So this was Laura's client. This was Laura's buyer or Laura's seller. And she's just saying, hey, I'm just calling up. I'm trying to put together my database of the people that I've helped over the years. And I forgot the birthday for Sarah Johnson. Do you happen to know what it is? And they go, yeah. And then you say, oh, you know, I forgot about Sam Miller too. Could you tell me Sam Miller? Oh, yeah, I got that one too. Okay, cool. You know what? I feel terrible. I forgot about half of them. Could you help me get those? And they're either going to say yes or they're going to say no. But most likely they're going to say yes, because one, it's your client. And two, they want to continue a good relationship with you.
I see.
Yeah. But could you do it raw data, like people you don't know? No. No way they would give you data from people you don't know or you haven't had a relationship with. I could never see them doing that. But
one thing I wanted to bring up that might be helpful, and I don't know if it's in all the states, but for example, in El Cajon, they have a city program where, and I'm going to start this campaign, but they pay on a grant the down payment for the house or the property. So there might be certain areas where you can, you know, kind of do a campaign that does that as well.
You betcha, Austin. If you're going after first-time home buyers, there's a ton of programs. No matter what state you're in, they're going to have some kind of down payment assistance programs. They could be grants, they could be loans, they could be a lot of different formats. And there are agents who specialize in that and get really good with first-time home buyers. That's a niche you can actually go into. Remember, you got to define your niche, though, because you only have so much time. So if that's one that excites you, then go in there and dig into that. But if you like this ADU thing that you were telling us about earlier, I would say go dig into that first and try to rebuild it up. And one last thing I'll say is I always recommend that you have a PCSOI as one leg of your stool, and then you go out and you build one more source of business. If you want a third source, fine, but I would wait until you, number one, have your PCSOI set up, and then number two, you've got this new source built up. Laura, how long have you been in the business?
19 years. I'm sorry.
And you have not been working your PCSOI consistently?
No.
For letting us know. Almost everyone I talk to is that
Okay.
way.
I'm embarrassed.
Included.
Yeah.
Okay. I did a terrible job in the early years because we're always hunting and hunting. And so when we get a new agent like Austin, I want him to know, build it now.
Yeah.
It's so hard. You're thinking, well, it's not going to be any business now. It might be business now, and it's definitely going to be business later. And if you don't, it's awful. I just talked to a guy. I'm going to throw one quick story in. Talked to a guy. He's been doing business 35 years. He helped in his career over 3,000 people. 3,000 people. He didn't have a PCSOI list.
Yeah, I've had hundreds and hundreds. All right, I'm embarrassed. But what made me start really is I'm not with Keller Williams right now, but I joined Keller Williams for a short time, and they advocated that DTD2, okay, do the database too. But now they've upgraded that, and you can download a chart. There's a PDF. You can find the PDF, but they've incorporated it to like 1 week you text, and then the next week you email, and then the next week you call. And so they have it set up that if you just follow, the alphabet on you hit them all 4 times a year.
It's called command.
Yeah. So the DTD2, and you can download a current PDF. I'm sure they have one somewhere.
Yeah. Now this is good. So number one, make a list. Number two, make sure you're staying in front of them.
Yeah.
Then you can get into quality.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously it's best if you have quality up front, but if that's stopping you from starting, don't worry about it. Just get your face there, number one. But then you can start breaking into the quality like we talked about with testimonials, better offers and call to action, something that people would be interested in, right? Remember, it's valuable stuff. I remember you said you didn't want to be too salesy.
Yeah, I don't like being salesy. Yeah.
That's okay. Make it your voice.
Mm-hmm.
But you didn't get to this point by not being able to close the lead, or close the transaction, or negotiate a deal. You have that in you, in your style. Use that style in these offers. In fact, the more it sounds like you, the better.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
I do throw it in there throughout my newsletter.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always like, oh, and if you need more information on this, just give me a call or just give me a text. So I do throw it in there. I just don't make it salesy. I make it more informative.
That's fine. That's absolutely fine. Add more for you. I would say add more testimonials, add more proof of success.
Honestly, I never asked for those before. Actually, today, I'm embarrassed. Today was probably the first time I ever asked for one at all these years, because I feel like it's salesy and I just don't like it. But people now get online and look you up, and you have to have it.
Laura, when you go buy something at Amazon, do you look at the reviews?
I do. I know. That's why.
Convince you I'm buying this or I'm staying away from this, doesn't it?
Yeah. That's why I'm doing it.
Do that for you.
I know. That's why I'm doing it.
Yeah. And let me give you a little bit of help on this. This is fun. I know we're going over on time, everybody, but just a quick one. For your testimonial, I start to give you kind of a high and low. The high is you get the person, the client, to do a video, and then you backstep from there into writing and other things. Let me also give you this. You can do a third-party testimonial. It's actually a second-party testimonial when you do the style I'm going to say. Third-party, let me tell you what third-party is. Third-party is your client was Marty, okay? Mm-hmm. Marty bought the home. Marty has a daughter named Heather. Heather does the testimonial for you. Heather's the third party. She says, oh my gosh, Laura did such an amazing job with my mom, Marty. She was phenomenal. Marty's so happy in her new home. And you got to tell the problems in the story. But you know what? My mom didn't want to move. My mom had this problem and this. And Laura figured out this solution and that solution. That's why you got to let them talk a lot and get into all the details. So if you do video, plan on the video being an hour long, and then you edit it down to the 3 minutes or the 5 minutes you want people to watch, because you're going to get all the good stuff of the story that tells people what happened. Okay.
Okay.
Let me give you one idea that could help you right now, though, because of everything you've said. You've got a lot of experience. You've helped hundreds of people, but you never got their testimonials, right? All right. Then use the second party. Who's the second party?
Yeah. And you know what?
Go ahead.
Really? Oh, well, because I was thinking of like today, the son, because the one couple, they're elderly and they're not going to, I know they're not going to give me a video. Yeah.
Right. That's
But-
perfect. So ask the son.
Okay.
That's a third party. But the third party knows the first party, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let me tell you something that people forget, and that is second party. Second party. Who is the second party?
Well, are you going to say me?
Yes, you are the second party. You were there. You assisted with this transaction. And so you can tell the story from your perspective. Okay. You say, hey, here's the property. You could do a picture of the property. Or you could, if you get permission, do the picture of the people. That'd be even better.
Right.
At least the picture of the property. See this home up here? Let me tell you the story about you don't have to give the address, but let me tell you the story about this property. We used to call it the pumpkin house because it was all orange. Whatever. And you tell the story as colorful as possible about the details of what happened without giving the names, without giving the specifics.
Right.
You point it to these people. And you just go through the story of what happened. They had this challenge, always have the challenge solution. They had this problem and we came up with this solution. And then we were running towards closing and pow, this thing smacked us in the face. And so I solved this problem with the lender and this problem with the title company and this problem, because people don't know what's happening in the background, right? But don't you like to watch those shows where they build a house and you're going to go watching the building and the construction of it, and they run out of wood and the nails don't work and the clients are trying to walk away and all the problems are happening. You're like, how are they going to solve that problem? Well, you just create your own story like that, right? And of course, it's going to go to the conclusion of Laura solved it. Laura fixed the problem, got them to the closing. Everybody won. My client got to move to Tahiti, where they always want to live, or whatever their solution was, right?
I didn't think I could do that, to be honest with you.
Why?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It's probably just you haven't thought of it, right? Because most people think of a first party testimonial. They never think of a third party. And most never think of a second party.
Yeah. Okay.
But you can absolutely do it.
Oh, I've had a lot of ones that I've pulled together right at the last minute. Yeah. See, I think as agents, I always feel great at the end when I get them to the closing and they feel like it got there very smoothly, but they didn't see all the behind the scenes falling apart, ripping our hair out. Yeah.
If we do our job right, they didn't, right?
That's right. But that's what we try to do. But they don't see that. That's why a lot of people think agents do nothing.
But that's all professionals. You go watch a professional basketball player and they shoot this basket and it goes swoosh. And everybody goes, oh, how easy was that? Well, yeah, you didn't see all the work before that. Right?
That's true.
Or anything you want to think of where you see a master, an accountant, right, who really knows how to run the numbers to get your forms all right, send them to the taxes, you get a beautiful refund. They got you all these write-offs. And you're like, oh, that was so easy. You just filled out a couple pieces of paper. Yeah, but they had to learn all that over all these years, all these hoops to make it work right.
Correct.
So that happens with all experts. And so the smart ones, they tell the story. They break it down. And I mentioned it earlier, but I bet everybody on this call, if they've been in the business, when they are in the trenches and you're cruising along and you run into a wall, boom. The inspection comes back and the inspection report's terrible. The buyer wants everything. Your seller's freaking out. And you say, you know what? I had a situation like this last week or last month or last year. I had a situation with the Johnsons. And here's what we did. And all of a sudden they're like, really? A story? Who was that? And what was the problem? You mean it was just like me? Okay. So you use it already, right? I know you probably do. If you start using it because
I do. Yeah.
Yeah. And you become a story collector, right?
Okay.
Does that help?
Yes, it does a lot.
I got to go back to Julian because he got us running on this. Julian,
sorry, Julian.
Oh, you did a great job, Laura. Julie,
Thanks.
did we answer your question about some frequency, what you send out, how you get in front of your PCSOI? I might have ran Julian out with running so long. Julian, can you hear me? Did we answer your question on what to do to set up contacts with your PCSOI? Well, hopefully we did. We'll leave that there. I ran way over. Thank you for hanging with me today. This was fun. Thank you for jumping in to all the things that we talked about. I hope it's been helpful. Was it helpful?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
All right, cool. I enjoy these. We do them every week, same time, same place. If you'd like to do this again. And then also right now, I'm doing the one-on-ones. If you see those in the emails, if you want to have a private call with me on any of these issues. All right. So thanks again for joining me for this mastermind call, the Referral Mastermind Call. And I hope you have a fantastic and productive week. Take care. Bye now.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.